Welcome, Unity of Ocala. What a beautiful day, huh? And welcome to all of us that are watching live stream or later in the week. We welcome you also. We are so glad you're with us. Let's have an opening prayer. God, I turn my will and my life to you, to have all defects of character removed from me, that I may better serve you and do thy will. Amen. And Unity Foundation. Oh, first we're going to have a music video by Faith Rivera, Power of Now.
Power of now is always present, nowhere to be than where you are. The power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be than who you are. The power of now flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now
Now, if you will join me in Unity's foundational principles together, there is only one power, one presence, active in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotent. And when we live these principles, we are a thriving, spiritual community, here to inspire one another to realize God's love. Centered in the Spirit of God, we see peace, love, and abundance in an awakening world. Our daily word for today is protection for August 8th. And our affirmation is through my oneness with God, I feel protected. Sometimes I feel at the mercy of changing, tumultuous world I cannot control. This is never true. Even through the chaos of the world that may swirl around me, at the center of my being is a place of perfect peace and calm. Whenever I am in need of a safe refuge, I turn to God within and reach this place of tranquility and reclaim my feeling of security and protection. The sun always rises after the longest, darkest night. I remind myself of this truth and feel grateful as I allow the light of the Spirit understand to realize and reclaim whatever power I may have unwittingly given to fear-based thought. Fully in tune with the divine presence within me, I move safely and confidently through every challenging circumstance. From 1 John 4:4, the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. And then we will listen to a music video from Megan McDuff and then turn it over to Lauri.
I breathe in and know I
let us prepare for a time of quiet and of meditation, of going within, just letting go of all the things of the world. I want to do a meditation for my husband. It was one of his favorites that he always asked me to do for him, especially there in the final days. He loved guided meditations. And I've mentioned before that he was a hunter in his early days, bow and arrows. He always wanted to give the animals a fair chance. Then he switched to a camera, I'm sure at all my nagging, but eventually he still used a tree stand. Some of you will know what that is, that are from forest and wooded areas. And I remember one time he had gotten a new one that was already constructed. He usually just built his own. And this one came from Sears, I think, back in the catalog days. He was testing it out when I got home. He was at the top of the telephone pole out in front of our yard, clear to the top, and I thought, oh, Lord. Of course, the neighbors just waved to him. We'd lived in the house about 20 years by then, so they knew Mick. So this is for him. So I invite you to get very comfortable and just relax. Take in some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And just let go. Let go of anything on your heart, on your mind, that might distract you from a time of quiet, of being still. Allow yourself to go away from this space and time into that gap where the imagination meets the vision of God. Allow your inner senses to come to life and imagine yourself in a little tree fort, a little platform in the forest, clear up high in the trees. Very early in the morning, the sun has not even begun to break yet. It's dark and quiet. Breathe the cool, crisp fall air. Smell the rich aroma of pine, spruce, earth. Feel the safety of Mother Nature all around you in this branchy forest. Just allow yourself to be still and imagine what creatures are sleeping around you. Some getting ready to rest after a night of prowling. Some starting to twitch a bit at that urge of a morning coming. Observe any shifts in your body, any stirrings. Just feel, be. You can almost feel the sunlight before it actually begins to appear. It's just a faint light in the mist. The trees around you starting to take a bit of an image now. Silhouettes. Just observe. Are you hearing anything? A shift. You may be feeling an awakening. Feel your body as it responds. to the rising sun? Are you feeling your spirits rise? Your energy begin to vibrate a bit? Listen for the rustling, maybe some cracking of twigs and leaves. The forest creatures readying to forage for nuts, grasses, barks. Just feel part of all that. That perfect, beautiful, brand new morning. You're starting to feel the sun now as it warms. Helps your blood flow a little easier. Take in some deep, fresh air into your lungs. Wake up those cells. The view is beginning to show itself. Breathtaking beauty, God's world. What do you see off in the distance? Perhaps a lake, mountains. Just observe and listen as the air warms a little more. And you begin seeing colors. Just watch what God brings you. Listen what is revealed to you in this beautiful, beautiful vista that is starting to bloom before your eyes in the quiet. Simply watch. In this time of quiet stillness, allow yourself to be in the present with whatever God is revealing. Be present with what you are feeling, noticing, experiencing. The gifts of God continue to flow endlessly right where you are. Becoming still helps reveal them to us. It is warm now, an autumn day, a brand new day. We are blessed by the image of the garden we have been gifted to be part of all that God has created. For this gift, we are so blessed. Let us bring our attention back to this space with an intention to experience fully the presence, to be reminded often to whom we belong, to the gifts and blessings available in all things, at all times. And let us be reminded to be this gift for all of God's creatures. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen. Amen. I think Jean was a little surprised when I said I'm going to come Sunday and speak. As all you probably know by now, my husband made his transition last Sunday, a little bit before this time right now, I think, not much earlier. And I wanted to be with my spiritual community because it is here that I draw strength, love, peace, and a sense of somewhat back to balance. Because no matter how you've been expecting this, in his case, praying for it, it's still a surprise. I was really blessed that I was able to be there with him for the whole event. We thought he would be coming home, but they kept him in the hospice center, and I was able to be there by his bedside, his children there the day before, and me with him. And he was incredibly peaceful. The day before had not been quite as easy. I put on all of his favorite music. We were listening to everything from Marty Robbins to Eric Clapton, George Jones, and we were kind of rocking the hospice house. And I was just holding his hands and kissing his face and laughing about, oh my gosh, 40 years with someone is there's lots of laughs and giggles and everything in between. And I thought I felt a real faint heartbeat, and I put my head on his chest, and he just seemed so peaceful. I was like, oh baby, this is what you wanted. I just sat there, just talked. The nurse came in and she said, honey, I think he's passed. I said, you think? I don't know. With my husband, everything was very dramatic. You know, I expected the end of a movie. And she said, well, let me go get my, oh, hi, he's waving to me. He wanted to come join us. Yes. Yes. So she went and got her stethoscope, and she came in, and for a solid minute or so, she said, yeah, he's passed. I went, oh, okay. This was Sunday morning. My favorite, or my husband's very favorite, all-time favorite of all favorites are rainy Sundays. That's just when Lacey was born, when he proposed, that was just his day. And I walked outside and I noticed the roses were blooming. He loved roses because of his mama. When she was alive, she sent him a yellow rose on his birthday, one single one, every single year that she was alive. These roses were blooming. The sun was shining. It was feeling pretty good. And the sky just opened and it started pouring. And I went, there we begin. Rainy Sunday mornings with my husband and the kids meant get the blankets, get the snacks. It's a Lonesome Dove day. Get the VCR out, get the videos out. If any of you know about Lonesome Dove, it's just an exquisite series of westerns, and we watched those year after year after year on rainy Sundays. And the kids do that to this day with theirs. That's just a rainy. Now they do it with DVDs and YouTube and whatever, but that was his go-to thing. So that was quite appropriate, but it's still an adjustment. You know, my husband was never a church man, a religious man. He was a very spiritual man. When we first met, I didn't really see how those two things could be compatible because I was pretty angry at God and the whole church experience, so I kind of associated all that in the same box. But he never wanted to belong to a club. He felt the churches were clubs. And some of you were accepted and some of you weren't. And he was never part of a club of any kind. He was neither Democrat nor Republican. He just went to the polls and voted for the guy that was going to take, or gal, that was going to take care of everybody. He just didn't want to be a part of any place where some people weren't included. I always thought that was beautiful. And then I learned over the years how incredibly spiritual he was. And he had a couple of experiences early on at church that just told him everything he wanted to know about church. And it really wasn't everything, but it was everything he needed to know. When he was younger, his mama took them to different churches like we all do growing up, unless we're in a particular religion and we stay there. And this one particular church, the Saturday night before they went, the church got hit by lightning and burnt down. And he says, okay, well, that's a sign. And his mama was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they went to another church where the pastor ran away with the organist and left the church, and he was like, oh, I see what church is about. No, thank you. And he just wasn't having any of it. That just, he said, I don't trust church people. They say one thing, they turn around and do something different. I'm like, you do you, I'll do me. I came to find out that his depth and wisdom of spirituality was far more mature than mine could ever be. And he explained to me that he and God were so tight that he didn't need a building to be with God in. He was with God in the woods, always. Most obvious in the woods, where he could hear God speak and breathe and laugh. He was with God in the bass boat on the lake early in the morning. He was with God when he was with his kids, when he was with me, when we were dancing. That's why he loved unity so much, and he did come to unity services. He just loved the message and loved that everybody was accepted, and that was okay with him. But this man taught me more about God, the God of love and understanding, than perhaps any church ever did, and I admired that. And this month, he died August 1st, or he walked on to his next adventure. When he's kind of messing with all of us now, which was what he was all about. To his amusement, we were the house that had all the kids, always. If there was a troubled kid, they were at our house. If you were on the football team, the baseball team, the volleyball team, the basketball team, you were at our house. After school, I'm sure during school when you were skipping, because we left the doors unlocked. And we lived on the lake, and he taught every one of those kids not only how to swim, but how to ski, how to pull a skier, how to take care of people, how to save people, and how to have fun. And if you were staying at our house, you would get initiated, because he was a prankster. To his own amusement. It had nothing to do with us. It was just so he could get a giggle. And if you were in the shower and left the window open, we had this little window that we'd keep open for circulation. That was before we had AC in this old house. If you were in the shower, and he knew it, he was outside with the garden hose, ice cold water. You're initiated now. And my kids would say, learn to shut that window. Because Dad will find a way to get giggles. He wrestled with the boys until they were bigger than him and pinning him. Just a big kid. But he taught us so much about how to be on this planet, how to be with integrity. He told me I don't need a church to tell me to be good. I know how to be good. There's 3 words that he taught his kids, grandkids. Everybody that knew him knew what you do not do as a man, as a woman, as a real man, as a real woman. Those kids know it. You do not cheat. You do not lie. You do not steal. That was his religion. Those were his golden rules. You lie to me, we're going to have trouble. You tell the truth, we'll get through it. That was his standard of living, integrity. I remember he was fixing something at the house, and Jesse and Nate were little bitty then. He had 2 Dobermans, these huge dogs, and he needed a screw and a nut, something, little pieces, and so he tucked the parts in his pocket and loaded everybody up in the truck, and we drove to town to the hardware store, and we're running around, and we get all the way home, and he pulls out his pocket, and he realized he had slipped one of those nuts or bolts, I don't know, a 17-cent piece into his pocket and didn't pay for it, loaded us all back up again that minute, took us back to the store and went in and paid for it. You know, I'm thinking, we can do this tomorrow. I'll take the guy 20 cents. It was going to be done right then and there. That was a man of integrity. And I loved that. I loved that he showed his children how to be in life. He was stubborn. This is the month of will. And it's taken me a while to learn the difference between divine will and my will. Because we always hear in church music, not my will but thine. Well, if it's God's will, it's God's way. I never really understood what that meant. I always thought it was a set of doctrines or codes or rules. Well, it must be God's will. It always seemed like such a weight, like an anchor around your neck pulling God's will. He didn't see it as such. He felt God's will was to enjoy every breath that we take because God gave us this planet and requires that we take care of it. So we get up early weekend mornings to get all the chores done. Responsibility comes first. Chores come first. Not so they all get done, but so that then we can have fun. Then we can go on the lake. Then we can go play. That was his joy, adventure. He taught me so much. How to seize each day with adventure. How to really see the fun in everything. How to not take things too seriously. And how to be okay with what is. And we'll get through it together. Those are life lessons that will get my kids and grandkids through anything and everything. And he'll certainly still be with us. My kids are already calling me, okay, I think Dad's messing with me. I'm like, keep all your stories. We're going to be telling them together here in a few days because, of course, little things. And I do believe, it's been my experience over these many years as a minister and hospice homes I've been in and families I've walked this step with, that our loved ones tend to linger. They truly do. There is an energy that maybe stays around to make sure we're okay. I'm not sure the reasons. Make us giggle, laugh, surprise us, help us remember that there's something more and bigger than us, that they're okay. We don't need to worry or be sad, but they tend to linger. And so we're watching for that lingering. August represents the month of divine will. The disciple Matthew. And Matthew, as the metaphysical teachers tell us, started as a parasite and then moved into provider and profiteer for others. He started as a tax collector for the Roman realm. The henchman, he was called, people hid from him. They were ruthless. You can imagine supporting the Roman army and empire was vastly expensive on the backs of those poor people in the villages. And then he met a guy named Jesus. This guy from Nazareth that changed the entire way he thought about things. And it became his divine will to turn that gray tarnish of who he had become and buff it into silver, which is the color of the month of August. To buff that into silver, to take that to its highest realm. Divine will. And I really got all I need to know about God's will from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, especially verse 38. It's where Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem for the Last Supper, for Passover, basically. I don't know if he knew it was his Last Supper, but it was for the Passover celebration, so he was well known in those village sites for a while now. The crowds were growing around him and following him, And he knew he was going to be staying. I don't know how they really got word around. They'd have to send someone ahead with his schedule or agenda. They couldn't, phone it in. Jesus will be here at 10:47, and he'll be parading down the streets of Jerusalem at 11:50. That didn't happen. But Mary and Martha knew he was coming to their home in Bethel. And Martha was busy. Now, remember, all the characters in the Bible are us. We are Martha. We are Mary. Martha's busy. She's getting everything ready. You just imagine Jesus is coming to your house. What are you going to do? Run and hide? Clean? Change the sheets? I mean, just think of what's going through their head. Here's this master teacher, the beloved of God, who understands God, whose Father is within him doing the work. She's just beside herself, worrying. Does Martha ever pop up for you first thing in the morning? Oh, the things to do. Where's my to-do list so I don't forget anything? What's Mary doing? Nothing. She's looking by the door, waiting for the master. So that makes Martha really agitated. Not only is she not helping her, but she's calm. What's this about? How dare you be calm when I'm such a mess? It's not fair. She even started complaining when Jesus got there to Jesus. Jesus? Can you imagine? Martha and Mary not even listening. Anybody have a sister like that where you just tune her out? Because I'm not doing what she is. I've got an older sister like that. And she tells Jesus, I've been working so hard getting ready. She's doing nothing. Would you please tell her what to do? Would you tell her to help me? She's bossing Jesus around. I'll bet Mary got a kick out of that. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking of the situation in the room. I'm reading the room. Are the disciples laughing? Are they... I just wonder, And so he sits down, and Mary's just at his feet of the master. She's just adoring him. And he tells Martha, you see, Mary understands the true will of God. That's all I need to know about God's will. Oh, Jesus was there to be an example of God's love and calmness. And Mary just wanted to absorb and learn what he was teaching and to become a teacher, to learn. The dishes didn't matter. The fish could wait, not too long. But think about that. In just those words and sitting with Mary. When I go into meditation about that, I ask for direction of what is the conversation. Give to me that exchange. I want to learn more about your will, not mine. It's not about church doctrine and rules and regulations. God's will is not that. God's will is about love. Are you okay? Are you feeling love? How can I support you in feeling love? That's a beautiful will to strive for. There's a chapter in the 12 Powers of Man that we'll talk about a little bit more in the weeks to come. When Charles talks about will as man is the divine power of will for God. And it's a chapter that'll you'll have to read a couple of times because it'll just kind of blow your mind, the metaphysical angle on God's will and the impact and power that can have on your life. So we'll get into that. And then in September, I'm going to take a little bit of time to be with my family, to do all those things you do, and just have some time for me. We're going to have the service, just a little family gathering at my sister-in-law's house this coming Saturday. And we're going to do my daughter's got I don't know, she's recording it. She's got all these pictures and all this stuff that she's going to, so that all of his friends around the country, he had friends forever. If you were a friend, you were a brother or a sister, and you just knew him a lifetime, and he kept in touch with all these people. And so they've been calling. I've been letting them know we're going to. You'll be able to see it. You don't have to risk traveling to Florida. It's a hot spot. Please stay where you're at. Some of them can't travel anymore, can't fly. So we're going to make sure that, and I'll let you folks know too. So if you want to plug into that, it'll be quite a joy, because one of the things I swore I would do was not have a funeral. My husband didn't hate anything. He despised funerals, especially those 3-day long ones. He didn't understand why humans put them through it. None of his friends would ever have wanted that. He never wanted to go. He'd almost pass out. He would sob. His mama had to sit next to him, even if he was 50 years old. And I realized it wasn't so much the dread of the funeral and the horror of it all, which that was a lot of it. He couldn't say goodbye. And they made it final. And he wasn't about to do that. So I promised him it's going to be joy. It's going to be music. His preference, sitting around a campfire with your feet up, the music on, a cold beer, and everybody laughing and telling stories. That's what he's going to get. I promised him. So be there with us. So next Saturday, put your feet up, put on your favorite music, get your favorite beverage, and have a toast to Mickey. I call him Michael, but everybody else in the world calls him Mickey. I'm going to leave with the prayer of Martha to remind all of us, you Marthas out there, to chilada. This is a time for us to be with God, especially this sacred day. I set aside my tasks and go within. The teacher is calling me, and I must go. But there are things that I would do and plans that I have made. All this can wait. Fill me now, for I am empty, Lord. I am the mistress of the house, but the master is calling me. The laundering can wait. The linens will not walk away. The kitchen, too, can wait. The house. It will all still be there. The dust reappears upon the table, whether I am there or not. Let the apron be folded for now. For I will claim my time. This is my time of prayer, precious to me. I find that when I do not take time for it, make time for it, when I will not, my other tasks go slowly and not well. How simple, then, it all is after all. I am a vessel to a holy purpose. Mold me and make me after thy will. O Lord, why have I feared this prayer? Why have I sought my own way? Why held back, rebelled, resisted my answer, my healing, my help, my rightful praise and peace of mind? Your will for me is good and only good. Why have I waited? At last I rest. I have worked so hard and tried so long and loved to serve and sacrifice, and yet now at last your will, not mine, be done. Thank God my prayer is answered. I am the will of Spirit. I am Martha of Bethany, woman of power. Enjoy this week. Be the will of God. We have a music video, yes? Oh, yes. Catherine DeWitt, right? Oh. Oh, okay. Good.
Hey there. Steve and I are going to do a song that's called Help Each Other Through, and we are sure hoping that you all will sing along with us. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Try it. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. Oh, all we can do is be there for each other and help other through. Crashing waves touch the shore. Time moves faster every day. Ebb and flow, no control. All that's left to say, all we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. Oh, all we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Oh, we can help each other through.
Yes. Yes. And that is the truth and why I wanted to be here. And thank you for being with me, and not just me, but Eric as well. 'Cause we're here for each other. I'm not the only one going through this week. Is it time for announcements? Yes. Oh, I hear those babies. Someone doesn't want to leave the nursery. I know how that feels. This Tuesday, August 10th at 1 p.m., we're beginning a time of musical meditation here at the church with Tanya and Bruce. Thank you for putting that together and being there in this way. This is lovely. And then it will be the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 1 p.m. Thank you for dedicating your time for this important and beautiful way to come together. Tonight at 7:30, the NA group rejoins in person. Peter Pinto will be leading this group. Very small numbers. Masks are required as well as social distancing, but I'm glad they're able to come together and be with each other in person and support each other. That's so important. Unity conversations will resume next week. We're not going to have them this week, but next week I think we need to just do some sharing and do a check-in and see how we're all doing, and then we'll go from there. Chaplain today is Leon. Leon will be here after services if you would like some prayer, special one-on-one prayer or prayers for someone else. And thank you to our volunteers today, William, Bill, Jerry, Jean, Mike, all of you that do so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now it's time to go into, yes, thank you, to our time of giving of our donations, love offerings, tithings, giving back a share of that, which we are so blessed with. Let us take those tithes and say with full intention our prayer for them. Divine love, flowing in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. You can put these tithes in the basket at the back there. Thank you again for those. Our prayer box is our sacred chest, where we put the names of those that need our extra love and support, or the causes, or that association that you are holding up. Our prayer chaplains pray on them, and they are sent to Unity Village, where Silent Unity will hold the high watch for 30 days. So let's just send our energy and our love here and just fill that chest with our love, our peace. We release that to God, knowing that all is well. Let's have our children, our lights of our ministry, come up so we may bless them. Somebody's running now. Oh, we're so glad you're here. Hi. Come up, beautiful lights. Bright starlights. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, the lights of our lives. And those that take care of them. You can come stand with me. You can stand wherever you are. Oh, she's telling you, you stay put, I'm good, right? Yeah. Is that Mommy? Oh, he's going to be a singer, this one. We got a little choir going here. So let's blessing with full intention for these bright lights. We love you. We appreciate you. We see you loved, guided, and protected. We empower you to do great things. We love you. Yay! Thank you for being here. Let's stand together and have our prayer for protection. Thank you, ladies. Yay! Together with full intention. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for